Dumelang bana ba dikgoshi le dikgoshigadi. Ke ngwanyana la go rata ke modimo le mangelo ya kere. Welcome to the Kosinkosi podcast, a brand that stands for all things owning your power. In other words, we have conversations with individuals from different walks of life, understanding that how did you get to the point of owning your true power, and what did you do to get to that point of owning that power? Dumelang bana ba dikgoshi le dikgoshigadi. Ke ngwanyana la go rata ke modimo le mangelo ya kere. Welcome to another episode of the Kosinkosi podcast, a brand that stands for all things owning your power. On this podcast, we open up conversations with individuals from different walks of life to try and understand, when did you come to the realization of your true power, and what did you do to get to that point of owning that power? We believe that confidence is something that comes from within you, and we also believe that fashion statements and clothing are a big part of that process. I am your host, Sehoran Leseilan, and joining me in studio today is a PR servant, a global publicist, the co-founder of the Fashion Forum Group, a celebrity agent, and the list just keeps on going on and on and on. Simphiwe Majola.
Hello, darling. Hello.
Welcome.
Yay, thank you for having me.
Beautiful, gorgeous, everything in one.
Yeah, but for a change, I'm laid back, eh?
Yeah.
You've never seen
I mean,
me like this.
you're always
I'm
extravagant.
Yeah, and I'm rocking a Kosinkosi ensemble, darling.
Beautiful,
Yes.
beautiful. I want to see myself in the same,
Why not?
Yeah.
Stana.
Simphiwe,
Yes.
you have been in the industry for 20 years.
Are you exposing my age now?
Yes. It's a very long time.
2 decades.
Very long time, and you're very seasoned in what you do. I know that you are the last sibling of 3, and you were born and bred in KZN.
Yes.
Right.
No. I'm actually the middle child.
Oh, you're the
There's
middle
4
child?
of us.
Oh.
Yeah. 3 siblings. I'm the middle child. So it's my older brother, Umandla.
Mm-hmm.
Then my big sister, Umpumi. Then it's myself. Then Utapsili.
Oh, I didn't think there was the other one. So I thought it ended with you.
No. I'm the middle child.
Okay.
And I was born and bred in Ladysmith, Mnambiti, in Bulwane.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously I came to Joburg, Ngizofunda. So I was between Johannesburg and KZN. But obviously straight after matric, when I went to varsity, I decided not to go back home because that's where everything was. So I studied fashion at the time, but baby's Vet Tech. It was in Elof Street in Johannesburg. And obviously it's now called University of Joburg. I studied fashion there. And then so while I was studying, I was very intentional, from day one. When I come to Johannesburg to become a fashion designer, I didn't want to be some mediocre fashion designer. I wanted to become one of the best, one of the top designers. So while in the journey, while I was studying, obviously our lecturers, everyone would tell us about Dion Cheng. There's a fashion guru. Although he's rebranded himself with Dion, but he was the man when he said anything about fashion, you thought Dion. And lo and behold, I wanted to be in that in the same space with him. And yeah, so one Sunday I decided to dress up, and I went to it was Michelangelo Towers at the time. That's why I met with Dion on one Sunday, and we started exchanging numbers because I was very intentional. And remember, this is what I always say to people: the power of the tongue is something very, very strong. So you must be careful of what you say.
Hallelujah. Because
when you speak it, you literally prophesying and manifesting things with your mouth. And yeah, the universe made sure our paths crosses paths. And Dion was like, oh yeah, obviously I knew Guti was as a fashion. Can I say to him, I wanted to become his intern. I wanted to learn from him. And he was like, yeah, no, Sim, you can come and join us. However, there was one person who wasn't, who is the boss, Lucilla Boysons. If Lucilla didn't like me, obviously it wasn't going to happen. And I told him, Guti, because he said to me, we don't have budget. I said, no one asked anything about budget. I needed experience because I was studying. So when I was doing my first year in fashion, I needed to have 1 year experience. Second year, 2 years experience. Third year, 3 years experience. So automatically, that's how my career and life shaped.
And you were the designer at SA Fashion Week.
No.
Or the developer, if I may put it.
So yes, so at SA Fashion Week, I worked there. Obviously, I did literally everything because I needed to learn the tricks of the trade. So I did everything. I literally worked my way from the bottom up. When we're doing model castings, I was there. We're doing anything to do with fittings with the designers, I'm there. Planning of the overall event, I'm there. I literally did everything for me to learn. And obviously, Lucilla Boysons and Dion Chang, funny, they actually thought I was amazing with PR, and I didn't even know what PR is.
You had no idea what PR was at the time. You were just into fashion.
They were like, listen, Simphiwe, you must not do a BTEC in fashion, but rather study public relations management. You're good with PR. And obviously, I was doing mostly PR stuff at SA Fashion Week.
For someone who doesn't know, what does a PR person do?
So I'll tell you what. PR is a... how can I put it? It's PR is a persuasion business. We are constantly convincing an audience in this building, outside your sphere of influence, about promoting your album, your brand, your achievements, what you do to the public. So, in other words, PR, as PR specialists, we're more like we are the one who creates, we draw, we control the narrative around your brand, we promote, we're the ones who protect, who build your personal branding, you know what I mean?
And channel it in a way.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if we look at these artists, we tend to believe that they are one-man show, but there's a whole lot of people like yourself behind most of these things. And it's just a bit of a confusion sometimes to try and understand what's the job of a PR person behind that.
No, but you must understand, Guti, an artist focuses on their talent, which is singing and music. So my job as a PR specialist is to package this artist and make sure that we are able to promote them and position their brands accordingly for people to be able to buy into their personal branding, for them to be able to sell their CDs, their music, for them to be booked. And we're the ones who make sure that people get to know who they are and their product offerings or service offerings and their work. So there's a lot that we do. We even go extra miles as to even securing strategically aligned brands to partner with the artists, you understand, my endorsements, all of that. So our job is quite big. It's massive. And we even, most importantly, remember, we use the PR to promote, to build a reputation, to protect, and to enhance. So, yeah, PR does a lot of work. So you will see a lot of artists that really do not have a PR team behind. They're always behind because they'd be doing amazing stuff and the public wouldn't even know who they are, what they are all about.
So how was your transition from being a fashion student and being fashion focused to going into PR? Like people said that you were really good at it and you didn't know. But how was that journey like for you?
No, but can I tell you what? Fashion and PR, it goes hand in hand. Because remember, I spoke to you about packaging. In order for me to be able to package you as an artist, I need to also have a fashion eye to say, in order for you, I need to make sure that before I put you in front of a camera or a newspaper, magazine, whatever, you are practically well packaged with the way you look. You know what I mean? So fashion plays a massive role. I need to have an eye and ear. And basically it goes hand in hand. Fashion and music. You know what I mean? It's one thing.
It's one thing.
Yeah. So it's not. I'm not really. I'm actually living a dream because I'm getting to do things I really like: fashion and PR. Because I can do it with my eyes closed, and I love it and I enjoy it.
And you're a global publicist also.
Thank you. Yes.
What do you do as a global publicist? Because now we've established that you are a fashion icon. I'll just call it that, a fashion icon. PR, and also a global publicist?
So with a global publicist, I'm sure you can appreciate the fact that I work from way back. I think the first international artist that I worked with was Buster Rhymes. When he came to South Africa, I was the publicist managing his brand right through to Abdullah Ibrahim, the Black Eyed Peas, R. Kelly. Oh man, when I worked on Castlelites, I worked on with Drake, Kanye West, J. Cole.
Big names.
Big names.
Big names only.
Tamia, Deborah Cox, Tasha Cobbs recently. Recently, but last month, it was Flipman. Joe Thomas.
Oh, okay. I wasn't even going to guess.
No, it was Joe Thomas.
Yeah.
So I get to work with all those international artists, those international platforms. So I'm known in such spaces.
Yeah.
And I've got, you can imagine, I've also worked with Kevin Spacey and Dana Brunetti for the Jameson First short films, So again, I've got my strong relationships that side as well.
Yeah.
And they know me as well.
Wow. You are also a celebrity agent. So does that also encompass everything that you've mentioned now?
Yeah, look, as a celebrity agent, I manage talent. Yes. So
locally, who have you worked with?
Flip, I've worked with pretty much everyone. I'm talking from Uyanda Mbuli, if you remember Uyanda Mbuli. She's the red carpet queen. Bonang Mateba, Pearl Tusi, Lerato Kganyago, the late River Steenkamp. In terms of music, Obolo Namasego. In terms of music, I've worked with Don Laga, Yvonne Chaka Chaka, Donald, The Love I Know I Deserve, Duk Singanga.
You've worked with pretty much everyone.
With everyone. The list is endless.
Yeah.
I've obviously worked with the old King Misuzulu. Level M. I currently work with Level M. I still work with Level M.
Beautiful.
Felicia Mabuza Satchel is still under my books as well. Snap. What am I forgetting?
No. You've basically worked with everyone.
I've worked with everyone.
Yeah. No, your work is amazing and well done for all of the things that you've achieved in the past 2 decades. You're doing amazing. And I think you still have a long way to go, basically. There's still more to do.
Absolutely. Listen, I'm only going to retire when I'm 100. And I'll still be looking this young and hot.
Yes. So with all of this work that you've done, you've achieved so much for yourself. But at the end of the day, I believe that you're still a human being, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything that you found yourself battling with or struggling with that you had to work really hard on and you've overcome? And now that you look back and you reflect, how did you even get to that point?
Look, there's a lot. Firstly, I remember growing up, I used to have ugly teeth. That's one thing I just remembered now because a lot of people would comment I had ugly teeth at the time when I was growing up. And I thought to myself, the moment I start working, I'm going to fix my teeth. So it brings, even though, yes, I never had self-esteem issues, but that's one thing I had insecurities about. Look, there's a lot as well. I had to learn how to study and learn to empower myself to be where I am. And so those are some of the things that I had to do.
You only had insecurities with your teeth?
In teeth, with my nose, which I've done as well. A lot of people would be asking. I have done my nose. I've fixed my nose. You can see it's chiseled.
But in terms of growing up, have you found yourself in a position where you're struggling with identity? Because you just said that you were born and bred in Ladysmith, if I had you correctly.
I never had such issues, to be quite honest. Growing up, not really, man. You've always been
a confident person.
I've always been confident.
Take me as I am.
Take me as I am. And if you have a problem, your problem. You know what I mean?
Deal with it.
Yeah. I never had esteem issues. If I was happy, if you were not happy about me, then
that's your baby to feed.
You know
that's
what I mean?
Beautiful. And what are you currently working on right now?
Flip, I'm working on a lot of amazing stuff. Right now, I'm working with on an international project. It's going to, in fact, it's going to be a global fight with one of the boxing icons, boxing legends that I'm bringing to South Africa. But I can't tell you much about it. But yeah,
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be quite massive. And you know that I'm also a co-founder for Fashion Forum Group. We do the Fashion FIAS Awards, Fashion Industry Awards South Africa. So we're working on that. Obviously, we're now releasing all the stuff. So yeah, big things are coming.
You're working on really big things, eh?
Yeah,
you're such a big deal. And you've got such a beautiful aura. Like you're not intimidating when you walk into a room like, hey, look at me. I'm big.
Oh, man.
I love that
That's so gracious of you. Thank you.
I love that about please don't ever change it. No matter how big you become.
At 40, how do I change at 40?
You never know. Midlife crisis. So if you were a plate of food, like if you were to serve yourself on a plate and serve a large crowd of people, what would you have on that plate and why?
I'd be a 3-course lunch or 3-course dinner because I'm everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're going to start us slow.
My man, I
expect nothing less. And if you were a cocktail or a drink of choice?
Cocktail, darling. Which is the most stylish, fashionable one? Or maybe your, what? Pina colada, I suppose? I'll have all the beautiful fruits and decor and that, those drinks you can think of.
Just like your fashion.
Njalo tal.
Who has been your besides the one that you wanted to work with when you started in school, who was your fashion icon or someone you looked up to and said, wow.
Strange enough, when I was still in Vets Tech, Gianni Versace, Giorgio Armani, and Tom Ford and Karl Lagerfeld. In fact, I'm still living Karl now because I'm like Karl reincarnated. The pony, the way I dress, my style, my aura. Yeah.
Everything.
So those were my go-to fashion people. I always looked up to them. Loved them. I knew that one day I was going to rub shoulders with them. And unfortunately, obviously, we lost to Gianni Versace.
But otherwise, you would have definitely met.
Absolutely.
It's whatever.
Yeah.
So as a PR specialist, what are some of the challenges that you encounter in this industry in South Africa and how do you overcome them?
Look, you mean as an entrepreneur as well.
Yes.
As a PR specialist, as an entrepreneur, because remember, what we do is a specialized minority craft. Not everyone can do what we do. And EPR I always say, it's a science. It's an art. You need to be able to think out of the box. You need to be able to be creative and come up with amazing concepts and things to do. So in terms of challenges, I can tell you what, one of the major challenges we come across I came across was that clients expected a prestigious portfolio of clients for you to that you'd worked with before they can even look at you or listen to you or even consider you for any gig. So those are some of the things. But fortunately, because again, I'd worked for agencies, I'd learned from the people who know, you know what I mean? So and the experience matters. So that's very critical. And that is one thing I always even tell to youngsters, even at universities who ask me to say, Simphiwe, how did you get to where you are? And I always say to them, just learn. Because the moment what you learn at school and what happens in the actual industry, at times are two separate meetings. But you do need that skill that you learn from school to come and apply here in a work environment. But all I can tell them is they need to work their way from the bottom up. Because one of the things I've noticed with the youngsters is they come straight from varsity and they expect to be positioned at senior level positions when they don't really have experience. And unfortunately, in PR, you need to have your black books. You need to have the contacts. You need to have the network. Because no matter how... I can even give you the database with the numbers and everything on your on your computer. But if you do not have relations with wherever the journalist could be or the celebrity or whoever, you won't be able to to get your word across, because people, again, they work with people they know.
And people buy from people.
Yes.
Yeah, no matter how we put it. Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's one massive thing that these youngsters need to learn. Good, rather before they even, because I've come across a lot of them who say, I've just graduated, I want to start my own business. But how? You don't have experience
of anything.
I mean, what better way of starting your business, learning from an existing business and from experts who are doing this thing already? Whether you commit mistakes or whatever, you're doing it at someone else's expense. And while sharpening you and honing your skills in that field, then you can then consider, again, what's also important is making your mark. Don't just be an income collector. Contribute, be involved, literally involve yourself in everything in that organization, or rather in that field of work you are pursuing.
I like this conversation that you're opening up, because in the past couple of weeks, DJ Zinhle had said something like the South African youth is unemployable because they lack the skill and whatnot. But she put it in a way that I think triggered a lot of people. And so, but if we really look at it, if we are trying to maybe dissect that topic, it was really just saying we are not skilled enough, we don't have the knowledge enough to work in certain industries. And do you find that in the PR space, what's the market like looking right now?
Look, you'll find everyone is now a PR specialist. When I think, I don't know, I mean, in my days, we couldn't even use such terms unless you were qualified and you had experience to do that. So I can tell, yes, I mean, the youngsters are not in a bad way. They think now that they have a degree or master's or whatever, they are experienced in that field. And the truth of the matter is they're not. They need, like I said to you, they just need to work their way from the bottom up so they can learn, and sponge more knowledge so that they are able to execute and excel in the industry.
I really hope the youngsters can listen to your advice, because that's the only way to thrive in any industry. It's not just PR, in any industry.
And I always advise most of them. So I was even telling my niece the other day, she's doing her first year in BCom economics and like these big terms. And I said to her, you need to start now working or interning for companies that could be your future employers. So you understand what you're studying at school and don't just sit at home. And again, that also helps you to become easily marketable. So straight after once she's finished with her degree, when she's now job hunting, she's able to put in her experience. And again, that company she would have been interning and they know who she is, what she's capable of. And again, it shows that they're also passionate about their fields that they are studying towards. So they can't just sit and hope to be, no. They must do it now. They mustn't wait for a third year where they have to do internship. And when they're doing, they'll only be spending few, rather less hours. And again, if they are still finishing schools, they also need to, I'd also strongly encourage them to do that, because when they go to finishing colleges, while they are studying whatever, finishing colleges help them about how to, about grooming, grooming, it gives them grooming skills, how they need to dress, how do they need to look, present themselves, correct, how to manage interviews, all of those things matter. You understand? You can't be now walking in to apply for a position as a banker or whatever, or you can't go to any interviews, a job interview, not looking the part. Because one thing they need to know is the moment you walk in, 60% is what I see. And there's a term I like using, that dressing is a symbol of status and a promise of delivery. So how they look.
Go ahead, please say that again. Dressing is
a symbol of status and a promise of delivery.
Oh, nice.
Yes. No matter, yes, you do have a great qualification. And as soon as you walk in, I would have already formulated an opinion about you. If whether, yes, you will be able to deliver on what you say you will.
Is this why you're very intentional about your fashion pieces?
I am intentional about everything.
Everything you put on.
Personal branding, darling. Yes.
And that's also another thing that people really underestimate. People tend to think that personal branding is how you present yourself when everyone is looking, but you have to even do it when anyone is not looking at you.
Yes. I mean, remember what personal branding is. Personal branding is a conscious and intentional effort to create and influence public perception of an individual by positioning them as an authority in their industry, so that then elevates their credibility and that they're able now to have a larger influence, and so they can have a larger impact. You understand? And we use personal branding assists in, obviously, once you're doing that, you allowing yourself, you obviously work on things that you want to be known for, and you allow yourself to be known for such. And then once you've done that, it also needs to lead, it needs to be bringing income. Because now because that's what helps for you, for even brands to be aligned to you. If you want to be known for fashion or presenting or whatever, brands are looking. Obviously, the like-minded brands, it's easy for them to go towards, you know what I mean? Yeah.
So let's talk personal branding. What's personal branding and what does it entail?
Look, personal branding is very important. So what is the personal branding? Personal branding is a conscious and intentional effort to create and influence public perception of an individual by positioning them as an authority in their industry. Obviously, that by elevating their credibility and differentiating themselves from competition. And that obviously widens their circle of influence so they can have a larger impact. So the process of personal branding involves identifying your uniqueness. Your uniqueness, what sets you apart from the rest, and then allowing and creating and allowing yourself to be known for something. And then obviously the ultimate goal is to create something that conveys a message and that can be monetized.
Beautiful. Now we've spoken about everything professional, but I want to know, what do you do in your free time or your me time? What do you do to entertain yourself or to leave yourself feeling good and inspired? All of those things.
No, but can I tell you, I'm such a workaholic. One, I love gardening. Once I'm numbit, you can imagine. I have a small garden. I plant like vegetables to my fruits and everything. If I'm not working, I'm doing that. Or I'm sitting on the machine, even though I'm trying to limit that.
What machine?
A sewing machine.
Oh.
Well, I bring a fashion.
Oh, that
it's a
machine.
bag that won't come out.
Is it?
Yeah. So I do that. And believe it or not, I entertain a lot. I host a lot.
Oh, you host a lot of at your space.
Every day.
No, but I expect that.
Every day is a big party.
You look like someone that hosts dinners and parties, yeah. I would expect that.
But funny enough, I'm one person. I don't really. A lot of people think I love eating very nice fancy food. Yes, I do. But you know what I love eating? Uphuthu, umfino, nenyama.
Well, it's where you're from. It's not going to leave you.
So if I'm coming to your house, if you could do that, then
you're happy.
Yeah, yes, I do go to all these nice, fancy, fine dining eateries. But what I really, really like, even today, it's uput.
It makes sense.
I don't really enjoy that soft pap and uput. And the uput, umfino, nenyama, qedile.
No, that makes sense.
Okay.
Thank you for this educational conversation. you have a lot of nuggets to share. I think maybe in your industry, if you're not already doing it, I think maybe you should, mentor talent that can come up later in the years to fill in your big shoes. Because you're doing it so well. If you're not already doing it, that's what I'm saying.
I am doing it.
Are you doing it? Oh,
I
that's
am
great.
doing
Great.
it. I mean, we have to. You know what I mean? So, like I was mentioning these youngsters I'm talking about, I get a lot. I mean, already I have 6 that are shadowing me.
Brilliant.
And I'm taking them step by step.
Brilliant. I think that's all we can do to give back to society, really. Just grooming people that are coming after us. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Simphiwe, for joining me today. This was such a beautiful conversation, and I hope to have you back again.
Absolutely. Soon and very soon.
Thank you, everybody, for joining in. That's it from Simphiwe Majola, an entertainment industry giant.
Chairman of Entertainment Operations.
Yes, exactly. And from me, Suhoran Liseilan Ngonyana Orata Ki Modimo le Mangeloi, I will see you on the next episode. Bye.